Frank Zane has said testosterone feeds cancer, and he takes medication to keep it low. Crazy. And Mike O'Hearn has said testosterone is overrated. So naturally, I'm coming to Mikey to find out the truth about testosterone. Frank Zane is right. Testosterone will feed cancer, okay? As would protein, you know? So when people isolate certain unique situations, there are going to be times where legitimately stuff that you hear from a lot of credible sources is actually a bad idea. I would not want someone who has any type of tumorous growth or cancerous growth in their body to be upping their synthesis of cells, right? Which is what you're normally wanting to do with a high protein diet. You would want to keep protein really low so that you don't feed that tumor or that cancerous growth. Dr. Drew is a perfect example. He loves pumping iron. He loves looking jacked. And Dr. Drew walks it like he talks it. He looks great. Dr. Drew had prostate cancer. And even leading up to the prostate cancer, he was aware that it could be some potential. So he was always, even though he had a medical kind of perspective on testosterone being very beneficial if done right, was always very wary of it. Mike O'Hearn saying testosterone is overrated. That we need more details on that, because is testosterone overrated in comparison to Primobolan, in comparison to using GH with Winstrol? I mean, what does he mean by overrated? Overrated in what capacity? When it comes to upping the quality of life for someone who's deficient in testosterone, a male, testosterone is not overrated. It can be a life-saving drug. In fact, in females who have reached menopause, females who have hormonal problems, for whatever reason, can be life-saving. Bioidentical hormones for females oftentimes can be a lifesaver for getting their sex drive back, improving quality of life, elevating mood, getting energy back. You know, all of the, there's a myriad reasons, above and beyond just looking jacked and tan, there's a lot of benefit to testosterone. And one of the bigger ones that people often overlook is mental health aspects that come with elevating testosterone to a healthy level if it's deficient. People with traumatic brain injury, people oftentimes with PTSD that don't have traumatic physical brain injuries, but kind of psychological brain injury, have benefited quite greatly in a much safer way than with psychiatric drugs by using a therapeutic, well-regulated dose of testosterone. So no, it is not overrated. It is not cancer food in a sense. It is something that I wouldn't want to be administering to someone who is in danger of having or has already developed some form of cancerous growth, okay? So you have to separate the two. And you're not natural. If you're taking exogenous hormones, you're not natural. But there is a big difference between quote unquote abusive hormones or cheating with them, and then being like an older person or someone who with some type of biological need for elevated hormones, and then having a doctor prescribe them and give it. There's a difference between medicine and you know, abuse. It's very similar to, like, if you are a soldier or a police officer that gets shot in the stomach, you better fucking believe Percocet is awesome, okay? If you're going out on Friday night with the boys, Percocet is not cool, and it is abusive, and it's gross and dangerous. Look at the difference between the two. If you're a 22-year-old guy that just wants to look better and you start injecting testosterone cypionate, that's not really practical, and it's not something that I would support. It's something I did, but it's not something I would support, nor would I ever encourage anyone to do that. If you are a 50-year-old guy that has just like gotten to the point in his life where like nothing brings you joy and you're flabby, even though you're training hard and you're trying to watch your diet and you don't want to bang your wife, and then you go to the doctor and get testosterone and it's monitored and then your life comes back into place, that seems like a pretty fucking big difference.